Hi, and welcome to the Hollowworld podcast. I am the Living Ghost, and I will be your host for today. Sadly, Ice has broken his foot and will not be able to host this podcast. So he has foolishly put me in his place. So today we have two special guests. We have SallyPirate and Somnastra. Do you want to say hi, guys?
No.
Oh, woo.
Hello.
Oh,
You gotta choose who goes first.
woo. Do you want to introduce yourselves, guys?
I am Somnastra. Sally really wants me to say I'm Somnum because I'm currently eating cheese and crackers and drinking tea, which should come as a real surprise. But I am the server owner, although I have not always been the server owner, and I will likely not always be the server owner, but that's a conversation for another day.
Okay. Yeah, Som, the resident tea drinker. And Sally?
Yeah, I'm SallyPirate in game. And Sally Rose on the forums. I love to make it. No way. Oh, I am SallyPirate on the forums. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyway, I handle plugins mostly. I handle the configs, and I usually fix things when they break, which is our hard job when I have to work on it. Yeah, it happens a lot.
And you do a wonderful job.
It's fun.
It's.
I really. Love
I'm
my
glad
job.
it's fun too. Yeah, and we should hop on to the server news then. This is where we talk about everything's been going on with the server. Points to address. One thing that's important that's coming up is the switch from 1.7.9, is it? Or 1.7.10 to
Yes.
1.8. Sally, do you want to kick us off?
Well, we've been mostly preparing for it, waiting for plugins to update and waiting for us being capable of updating 1.8. Using vanilla Minecraft just isn't an option. The most recent update to handle this was the World Guard update. We had been trying to move on to this for a while, but I wasn't able to do it by myself. When P-Typer returned. P-Typer!
Petiba?
No, P-Typer! Anyway. Yeah, he was able to fix all these problems, which was just wonderful. When he managed to fix up World Guard within a few minutes, it was just basically changing a few lines of the code and a few things in the regions file. But yeah, he fixed it brilliantly, and when we changed over, we did have quite a few problems. There were some old regions in the old Exodus maps that had broken it, and that's why everything started burning, which was
Yeah.
All terrorist up in flames.
But it provides some good RP. People treat it as RP.
It was really fun.
Sally, I know that there's been a lot of speculation on the forums, and I don't know how many of those guys are going to listen to the podcast, but hopefully all of them do. And
Hopefully
so,
every single
since
soul.
you're in charge of the plugin section, would you mind talking a little bit about why exactly we have to wait for the plugins to update before we can update to 1.8? And all the stuff that's kind of why we haven't done it, why we've waited.
I gotta think of the right words in that. Okay, well, there's two different reasons, basically. We actually pushed to move to 1.8 recently because of the UUIDs/name changes coming out soon. Somebody tweeted that it was going to come out within a week, and that kind of just pushed me and P-Typer to try and get everything done ASAP. Simply updating every plugin to 1.7.9 would fix it, but we would like to update to 1.8 just to finally pretty much get it over and done with.
Players have been waiting for it for a little bit now.
Yeah, and I know that for a while there was some issues with the DCMA with Bucket.
Yeah.
And so Spigot had to basically start from scratch, and that's what we run on. We don't run on Bucket, we run on Spigot.
Spigot is incredible.
I agree.
So I'm gonna have to say a special thank you to both Patiba, that's how I'm gonna say his name,
P-tubes.
for his P-tubes, for his glorious return, and for people being patient with the plugins
Well-timed
updating.
return too.
Well timed,
Oh,
almost
brilliant.
conspicuously well timed.
Yeah, he knew this was gonna happen when, like, a year ago, he decided to take a hiatus. And then came back right as we needed him. That is totally
He
what was
senses
going
Hollowworld
on.
danger. It's one of his many superpowers.
So,
Right, so
Sally, any
yeah.
other fun plug-in stuff?
I know I still need to test the head dropping plugin for 1.8. I know there's currently loads of bugs with WorldGuard, and Locket still won't work, obviously, with name changes, so people are gonna have to watch out for that.
Because name changes do bring quite a few changes. The 1.8 apparently you can change your Minecraft in-game name. So what kind of plugins would that affect? Sorry.
Well, luckily, since we updated WorldGuard and Hollow Nobility, it's not going to bother the noble has or the regions, which is wonderful. That's, one less thing to worry about. But yeah, as I said, Locket won't work. The signs will have to be removed before a player changes their name. I'm not really comfortable with a staff member removing signs of a recently active player when we don't know whether they changed their names or not. The custom entry and exit messages also don't work with UUIDs, so if somebody changes their username, they will have to get a staff member to remove their message and then put it on their new account, but that might be updated UUIDs one day.
Yeah.
Homes don't work with UUIDs. I don't know if this will change. It's basically Homes is Essentials, and Essentials has updated for 1.8, but I'm not sure if it tracks UUIDs.
There are a lot of stuff that the server can prepare for in terms of plugins, but there is also a lot of stuff that we will have to see and try and fix when we switch over and try and do some damage control.
And it's going to be left heavily up to the player to make sure that nothing of theirs fixes, or that was totally the wrong word. Nothing of theirs breaks, because there's really only so much that we can do, and with as many people as are whitelisted on the server, we can't really go and do these really in-depth fixes for everybody if everybody wanted to change their name, because we're very limited in the amount of attention that we can focus on stuff like this. And Sally's doing a wonderful job in making sure that the important stuff, regions, nobility, stuff like that, doesn't get affected.
Yes, she is. Feedback is also incredibly important from players. I mean, if they spot a bug before a staff member gets the chance to, and then they post feedback about it, it gets solved that much faster.
Yeah, and not only that, but reporting feedback on bugs is going to be an important way for us to troubleshoot, but particularly if there's an exploit, players don't want to be caught using an exploit without having reported it. We've had this happen in the past, and we've come down hard. Whereas I know that somebody reported a bug, and it gave them extra items, and we usually let them keep those items if they report a bug that we're able to fix.
Yeah, if there are any queries, if a player notices something that's kind of out of the ordinary, maybe they get an extra stack of emeralds that they didn't have before, it's a lot better to go...
I should put the caveat on there, within reason. Maybe not a stack of emeralds, but...
Within reason. But if they could just go to a staff member that's online and go, hey, is this normal? And we can go, no, thank you for reporting it.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it slide.
Right now I can think of only one export, but unless people really like gravel, it's not that big a deal.
I know that
People,
exploit.
sneaky people getting away with inventories full of gravel. This is a real problem we have to stop. Yeah.
But on the topic of exploits, I was alerted to an exploit by a player with the old Horsekeep. Yeah, that was the name of it. Yeah, basically the old Horsekeep plugin was duplicating saddles and horses. It was quite bizarre. And that was basically what pushed me to update to stable so quickly. And since they had alerted to this error to me, it was a big deal, I reckon. So I gave them permissions in the stables plugin to create name tags and claim horses before those perms became public. So yeah,
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
reward bug testers a lot.
That was an apt choice of music for that. Sally to the rescue.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right. You mentioned it before. Should we address the entry and exit messages that people might be wondering about?
Okay, so right now there's no really clear guidelines on who can get entry and exit messages and what the requirements are. I know that I have been inconsistent in the application of these, but it's been suggested that we can use entry and exit messages because they are very cosmetic. They are as cosmetic as it comes. And so it would be perfectly within the EULA to ask for a donation in exchange for these. So if you wanted to change your entry and exit message, you would pay like $5 or something on the server donation page, and then we'd change your entry and exit message.
Well, it's purely cosmetic. It will probably be an extra bonus on top of the other things people get with donations.
Yeah, well, so right now I think because there's no real guidelines, we're going to have to sort of look at that. I think that it would be kind of complicated and really strange to ask for a donation for every entry and exit message because we'd have no way to track it unless we like put an item in their inventory, but then they might be able to get an item. So we've got to look into that, and we haven't yet. And we're doing okay I say we're doing okay, kind of like we may not be. We're doing really okay for donations right now. We were only about 2 months out. I did the holiday update. We're now about 4 months out. So people have really decided to support the server in that way. So
thank you to those people.
yeah.
Yeah,
4 months out is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I paid the server bill and then went to check the balance and was like, holy cow, that's after I paid the bill. My God.
Is that a typo? Is 4 months,
I had
4
to
minutes?
double check. I was like, what's going on? But I think that part of it is we had an influx of new players, and a lot of them wanted extra titles. So that's an option, and it's probably going to be an option for a little while, but we are going to have to come up with some stricter rules, like whether or not there's got to be at least a reference to your name or an insinuation of your name, either your character name or your in-game name. It may only be for certain donation ranks, and you may only be able to do it like once a month or something. I don't know. This is just kind of spitballing.
We're just trying to clear up some of the hazier areas of the changeover currently.
Yeah.
Which one of them was entry and exit messages.
Well, yeah. Well, that what Sally mentioned is that it doesn't tie up with UUIDs yet. And so if you change your name, you'll have to get all of that sorted out. Which is one of those things that is going to be left up to the player to do. It's not going to be staff's responsibility. It's going to be player's responsibility. Which I almost invariably we're going to get grumbling because they're like, this should be done automatically. Well, we don't update those plugins. They're not ours. We don't have access to the source code. And so we have to wait for the plugin coders to do that.
Basically, changing your in-game name will be a very big deal for a lot of the plugins affecting your in-game name.
Not a lot of them, but several of them.
A fair amount. No. So just for players just to be prepared before they go changing their name to whatever they want it to be.
Yep.
Sam, do you want to talk about the general future of the server?
We're all gonna die.
Hard thing to discuss. There you go.
So for a while I've been taking it one day at a time. And one of the things that I've tried to do is be very transparent about where we're going. And so a lot of what we mentioned that was a text message. A lot of what we mentioned in the holiday update is still applicable. So we're still gonna try and slowly, carefully beef up our staff team. As a matter of fact, I just promoted Solus today, Solus Requiem. Kind of excited. It was my first staff promotion. I was like, yes. And we'll be looking at some of the ways that we can just try to minimize a lot of the conflicts that pop up. So these disputes over warfare and combat and stuff like that.
All fun things.
Yeah, things that give everybody headaches, not least of which the people involved.
Going back a little bit of congratulations to Solus then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go Solus.
Yep, I think she really deserves it. I think that she'll do well.
She's contributed a lot to the server, including builds, events, suggestions. The list goes on. Yeah. So congratulations, Solus.
Yeah, I expect that she'll be able to help Marin with the builds and stuff like that a lot. She likes building. She's good at it. A lot of people recognize that she's good at it too. I imagine that she will find a place with media as well.
That is a safe bet as well. Oh.
And I expect she'll be a pretty good mediator. Anybody? Oh, that was so bad. I'm sorry.
Moderator with media.
Yeah,
mediator.
She'll be good for moderation too, because she's pretty level-headed.
Well, I liked it. Do you guys want to?
It would be better if it was written.
Do you? Is there anything else in terms of plugins and the server?
I mean, I guess the only thing I want to report is basically, I'm not sure if it's known by most of the players on the server, but WorldGuard currently has a chunk bug where it will not let you place item frames, pistons, or basically anything you can interact with on the corner of, on the edges of chunks. It's
the blasted trees.
Yeah, even trees are affected by it.
Oh.
Basically, WorldGuard has this thing written into its code that it's protecting chunks to prevent griefing. So it's not going to let you put a piston on the edge of a chunk because it thinks you're trying to grief. And it's blocking that action. So we have had a lot of redstone breaking from this update. I'm gonna see about contacting dev to have an option to disable it, because the way Hollowworld is set up, we don't really need protection like that.
Yeah.
The
So,
AI is trying to protect us from ourselves.
yeah,
we should all be terrified.
World is being. They are trying to protect a lot of the bigger servers, I guess, that don't have quite the level of lockdown that we do.
It's because we're cooler. That's why.
Yeah. So much
Yeah.
better.
No, if there's nothing else, then we will move on to the question portion of the podcast.
Whee!
Yeah? Is that a
Ready,
yes?
ready.
Or a we?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm out
Okay.
of tea.
Oh. Cut the podcast. Somnastra is out of tea. I've compiled a list of questions from previous questions that obviously have not been asked to the two of you on the podcast, and a couple of questions that I've added in personally. So
Living on the edge, Ghost.
I guess I know. I'm playing with fire. Should we go Sally answers first, then Somnastra?
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh,
Okay.
alphabetical order.
It works. Okay. In a zombie apocalypse, what would your character or characters do first?
Oh, wait. Repeat the question. I'm sorry. I got
In a zombie
distracted.
apocalypse, what would your character or characters do first? What would be their first, reaction? Thing they needed to do.
Oh, wait,
Sally?
Now, you gotta specify which one of our characters.
It's up to
Real
you.
life or
up to you.
RP? Oh,
No,
no.
I didn't. RP.
Okay.
You can just choose one character.
But you
Ooh.
gotta use the same character for all the questions.
Oh, do you want to? Okay.
That would be fun. Okay, I would choose Illy then, my little nomad.
Oh.
Mostly because she's adorable. But anyway, she would
Yeah.
most likely hold herself up in a library. I mean, I'm pretty certain she'd die pretty early on in the zombie apocalypse, but because she's a coward, she can't fight. She's a bookworm, obviously. She can't run very well.
So she'd go for the Independence Day approach.
Yeah, she just
No, not
yeah.
Independence Day. Day after tomorrow. Oh, I need to know
yeah,
my
lock
films.
herself in the library and just read until
Yeah.
she dies. Yep.
So
It's,
nice.
it's optimistic. Until she dies.
Well.
Hey, in fairness, that's probably what Kelta would do, but that's not who I'm answering the question for.
Are you gonna go with
She's
Somnastra?
Yeah, I think I'll go with some. So there are actually two possible answers to this. Som's kind of an interesting character. She's very self-preserving in a lot of ways, so she won't get in fights. She'll just like turn around and walk away. So
If it's the walking kind of zombies, she'll be fine.
right. So it's entirely possible that she could just like peace out and go into the woods and subsist in the woods, because for a large part of her story, she lived in the Sorrows. So
She did.
yeah. But at the same time, she'd probably only do that if her loved ones and those close to her were not in danger. If they were in danger, if they were in the Northern Kingdoms, she would probably do what she could to stop the zombie apocalypse, which would probably mean shooting and hunting as many zombies as possible, trying to find a way to bring it to an end, that sort of thing. Interestingly, if her loved ones or those close to her had been killed in the zombie apocalypse, She probably wouldn't be able to bring herself to kill their zombies, but she would bring
Ah,
herself to exact revenge on every other zombie. So she would still be shooting as many zombies as she could, hunting them, and trying to bring about an end to the zombie apocalypse. So one of those
wow,
two.
yeah. Yeah, it's always an interesting question because there's a lot of drama around the zombie apocalypse setting. So, library and kill everyone but loved ones. Right, so sticking with the characters, is there a person in real life that is most like your character?
Nope.
No?
That's a silly.
That's okay.
I don't know. So
It just,
a
has
lot
anybody
of
said, Somnastra reminds me of... No.
well, a lot of the characteristics of Psalm were taken from my own inclinations, but the same. This is gonna sound really weird. How do I put this?
Go for
Kelta
it.
is the same way. Like, a lot of her characteristics were taken from me, and in a lot of those cases, they're contradictory characteristics. So, Kelta is very curious. She asks a lot of questions. She's really nosy. She likes to read. Psalm doesn't ask questions if it's not her business. She's not so nosy. She doesn't like conflict. And she really doesn't like books. She prefers hands-on learning. Interestingly, both of these are basically describe me in a way, but I don't think that I'm like my characters in the sense that my characters remind me of me.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You've put a little bit of yourself
Does it really?
into... Yeah, you've put a little bit of yourself into each character, and you've put a different part of yourself into both characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you enjoy doing most when you're on holiday? Hollowworld. Ugh. Sounds.
What do I enjoy doing most, or what do I end up doing most?
Enjoy.
Oh yeah, I love terraforming. It's just, oh my god, so fun.
Very relaxing.
It depends on the day. If I am in a mood where I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to deal with anything, I don't want to RP, I go mining. Because my mining, yeah, like I mine in straight lines just until my pickaxe breaks. And then I get another pickaxe and keep mining in a straight line. Like it's very meditative. But if I'm in the mood for RP, I actually don't like the RPs where you sit around and talk. But that seems to be the exclusive RP that I've been getting into lately.
You like more of the running around killing zombies
doing
RPs.
Stuff. Well, like I actually really enjoyed mysticism training while that was going on, and I really like ranger training when we have recruits who are training.
Hands-on RP. Right?
Yeah. Very, very in line with Psalm's personality.
Yeah. Has Ghost secretly staged a coup on the podcasting team?
I think so.
Oh.
Don't you think so, Sally?
Yeah, I'm a little bit suspicious, yeah.
Not too much. How do your characters react when around the gods?
Depends on the god.
Yeah, it would mostly depend on the god because Illy has a massive crush on Silas, but other than that, she'd just be.
Who doesn't? What a
I
hunk.
know. So anyway, yeah, she would just mostly act with interest. If she can, she would most likely try and draw them. I'm trying to get her to be a slight artsy character, but not as much as Ryan. Yeah. She's basically fascinated with all the gods.
Oh. So,
It depends. So,
do you want me to throw an example?
with Theodra, who, funny story, normally I pronounce it Theodra. With her, Sam would probably be sort of cautiously respectful. Like, deferent, respectful, attentive. With Ignis, she'd probably walk out. Just like
those the
turns and
polars.
leaves. Yeah. Actually, I think Jishram is more gets more of a reaction than any of the others, because well, Jishram's Jishram.
Jishram is Jishram.
And that's the one that she'd be most likely to either shield other people from or whatever.
Yeah. What single event would most likely throw your characters' lives into complete turmoil? It was a question that was posed on a lot of character profiles back in the day. Most character profiles still have it. So, Sally?
Huh. I've never actually thought of that. Well, I mean, Illy has quite a few books with her that, she keeps track of a lot of things, so I guess if maybe those books were taken from her, she'd probably get quite upset, but other than that, I don't know anything that would, do that to her unless I actually experienced it.
No, Illy.
Oh.
Nobody take her book.
They her book.
With Sam, this has actually already occurred to her. But if something were to happen to Dater or Glenn, but since Dater is human and we'll call him middle-aged, and Sam is elven and very young, she's very definitely going to outlive him, and this keeps her up at night. So if he were to die, she'd probably fall apart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put my money on Data. Ship.
Yep, ship.
All of the ship.
Funny story, it wasn't until Sally started shipping hardcore that it really became reality. I think the first person to say anything about it was Skardrak, though.
Oh yeah, I'd say so as well.
All he saw was us anti-socialing across the room from each other, and I'm saying that to be sort of quick about it because I hate it when people call characters antisocial. But we were just being, sort of loners in our separate corners, and he just was walking by the not in, and then in local chat he's like, ship.
The shipping alarm. That's adorable. Really.
So cute. Also ship.
Yeah, also ship. More of a personal question now. What were your favorite films of 2014?
Oh my god.
Curveball.
You're gonna make me try and figure out when. Oh.
I've watched so many movies. Oh my god.
No. It was the one about the train, wasn't it, Sally?
No, god no. if we're gonna go on in worst movies, I could probably make a list. No, I can't. I can't remember. Holy shit.
Maybe just a film that you enjoyed instead of the favorite film.
Oh, there was a zombie movie I watched. Hang on, I'll have to.
Maybe while Sally fetches that song.
Okay, so I think it's a tie. I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. But Interstellar hit a very tender spot. Like, so actually maybe Interstellar kind of nudges out with that one. Guardians of the Galaxy was a lot of fun, and I really, really liked it. But Interstellar gave me feels.
I have to say, it's never easy choosing your favorite movie, even from one year, because movies fall under different genres.
Yeah,
so
and part of the problem is you said, "What's your favorite movie of 2014?" I'm like, crud. Which movie was in 2014?
Yeah, for example, it would.
I'll keep talking. It's alright.
For example, it would be between quite a few films for me, mainly Interstellar and The Imitation Game. Those two.
Oh yeah, how was The Imitation Game?
Benedict Cumberbatch. It kind of deserves an Oscar for that part.
Yeah, I was kind of skeptical of it because I know that a lot more women worked on the Enigma machine than just one.
Yeah, but.
And so I was very skeptical of
even with one, it touches on issues that.
Oh yeah, I imagine. Have you seen any of Agent Carter?
No.
It's wonderful and touches on a lot of the same issues. I imagine, since I haven't seen The Imitation Game, but it's set in the same time period, so.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it, so we can move on with the questions. If Sally, you didn't have a film.
Did she find?
No, all I remember is it was a zombie movie.
2014 zombie movie.
So Sally, tell us your
2015.
favorite game genre.
Oh my god.
I was expecting you to retort back with horror.
Zombie game.
Yeah, well, it used to be thriller.
2014.
I love those type of games, but after I've played so many of them, they're kind of boring. So I've been into fantasy and sci-fi lately.
Woo!
Two very good genres. What was one of the funniest RPs you've ever had?
Oh dear lord.
He's kind of a nude character, so.
Oh dear lord. I don't.
Oh, my most recent one that I can remember was when I first started RPing with Ray, my drunkard character, and he was incredibly drunk at the crossroads. Basically, he was a philosophical drunk, where he's just like, why the hell should I worship this god? I like this guy because he does what I like, you know? It's just... Yeah. Basically, he worships Rahas, and he's just like, yeah, freedom, whatever. And somebody was like, why don't you worship Arok? He's the god of alcohol, and it's just like, well, screw that. He's also the god of friggin' labor.
Ray cracks me up. Oh.
Don't put him in a box.
Oh, there's a cat on the counter.
Some, if you can, name one. The many RPs.
Okay, so the first one that comes to mind. So Maelstrom Puddle has a Norwegian character named Sven. Oh my god. The first RP that I had with Sven, he and Som got blindingly drunk. And,
I'm sensing a pattern.
And it was pretty funny because it was before the brewery plug-in, and so we were RPing the lisping drunken speech. had a lot of fun with that RP.
Yeah, moving on, I guess. This one's a bit of an iffy question. You could just say no. If your character had a walkout song, what would it be? And a walkout song is where, mostly in wrestling, when people walk out to the ring, a song accompanies them.
That's gonna take
So-
too much thinking.
I wouldn't know one. I mean, I could check my bookmarks real quick.
So when you said a walkout song, I thought when they walk out and leave, and I was gonna be like, "There she goes" by whoever sang that song.
There she goes.
Yes, that one.
That's a good one to pick.
But it's a totally different context, and I have no idea.
Yeah,
So maybe we should move on.
maybe. I'm counting that as yours. And and Sally's passing slash.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah.
Right. And the last question we have is there anything that has unexpectedly changed your character?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, not Illy, unfortunately. She doesn't do much. I suppose, if anything, when she met the Sneak, which I can't pronounce her name, so I'm not gonna try. When she met the Sneak, it kind of just
Psyduck.
yeah, it sparked her interest, and so she is actually becoming a lot more deceitful, and she might. I think she has potential to turn evil. So it's just yeah.
What?
I never expected that.
That is definitely an interesting development.
I mean, not evil, kill people, but just like deceiving people for her own benefit, sort of thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna answer this for Kelta, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna answer
He's
for
allowed.
Kelta.
Yeah.
So Kelta had a couple of really traumatic experiences, and where she was previously this really kind of outgoing, nosy, asking all the questions, kind of enjoyed traveling and seeing new places. Now she has been hiding in the library in Vigil's Rest for I don't know how long, a long time. Refuses to come out and is super skittish.
We have, of course, forgiven Dummy Plug for his previous crimes.
Actually, that was all prearranged. Like, I fully expected
Oh
Kelta
yeah,
to die.
yeah.
But she didn't. And then when she came back to her abode, God, Albiorix, Estus's character had been brought back by the Grey Lady, and he and Abel basically just, oh God, gave her this ridiculous scare because she was trying to protect Ashna. And so she thought that they were going to come in the window. They finally left, but holy cow, it was scary.
Yeah, I can imagine. The
Alright.
Grey.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He's quite a
moving on.
reputation. Yeah, that was the last of the questions. So we're going to move on to the thread of the week and the artwork of the week, and then wrap it up. So the thread and artwork of the week are both on the same thread, actually, by Omikuji, or Omi for short. She's new, and her character profile of Kopi Gray is a very, very great mix of artwork and descriptions. Even the sketches are just so adorable.
Adorable.
I saw the thread. Ah! So great.
It's great artwork, it's great character description, and it gets the
And it
dreaded
has
week and the
stories.
artwork. Yeah, like the travels are.
Oh my gosh.
It's very good.
This is adorable when I arrived at the
Yep.
Rhodes Cross.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the thread, I assume, will be linked somehow, so people can check that out. And well, that wraps up the Hollowworld podcast this time. So I'd like to thank Sally and Som for joining us. Say bye, guys,
This was
Bye.
fun. Adieu.
and thank you for Rue for recording it and doing all the technical stuff. So this be Ghost, and goodbye.
Good night.